Hello one, welcome back. Kevin with Survivalist Boards. I'm out here on a little boat ride, doing a little exploring, doing a little fishing. And while I'm out here, guys, let's talk about using a marsh as a bug out location. So I grew up in the, I grew up along the marshes of southeast Texas, exploring the bayous, going fishing out there, hydro sliding, what they call knee boarding today. And oh man, coming back in here in these marshes, it's really a river bottom. Comes off the Angelina River, but I tell you what, it's beautiful back up in here. Beautiful, beautiful. Got a slough over there. Got these old hardwoods, got some pin oaks. Sometimes they are used to the government let people come in here and do some logging and stuff. Also watching out for water moccasins, gator, stuff like that. June into July is usually gator breeding season, so we want to keep an eye out for any gators. What we're doing is I'm walking along, I'm watching for slides where gators come up and off the bank, because they'll wash the mud down. All right guys, so what about using a marshy area like this as a bug out location? Yes and no. Yes and no. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, the Cajuns of Louisiana, from what I understand, were ran out of Canada. They went down to Mississippi, sold it to New Orleans. When they couldn't go any far, when they hit the Gulf of Mexico, they were like, well, guys and gals, maybe we need to stop and just settle right here. And they ate everything they could find. Talking shrimp, crab gumbo, gators, frogs, just anything and everything they could find. One of the problems with this type of bug out location is finding clean water. Well, let me rephrase that. Not necessarily clean water, because that could be filtered or clean. It's just finding like clean enough water to wash off with, take a bath with. Some of these areas are just very, very low. And it's a challenge just to keep your hands clean, your feet clean. And you used to go on camping trips, places like this, little low areas, and it is just a battle to keep yourself even somewhat clean. Oh man, it's just beautiful back up in here. Beautiful, beautiful. Besides that, a lot of these are flood zones. Whenever you get a lot of rain, they will have a tendency to flood. Now the flood here, the water level here is controlled by the dam at Lake Sam Rayburn. We're above Dam B, also called Steinhagen Reservoir, and below Lake Sam Rayburn. And so the water level of this is controlled by a dam. But it will come up about 2 feet or so whenever they release some water. Lake Sam Rayburn is a hydroelectric dam. Whenever they're generating, then the water will sometimes come up to 2 feet or so. And we can see right here where the water came up in here. And sometimes you'll be boating along and you'll see debris up in the trees where there may have been a flood. So, it's a hit and miss. Hit and miss. You've got, as long as you can find a nice area where it's not going to flood, a little bit high, access to food and water, and another thing is bugs, mosquitoes, leeches, stuff like that. Back in the early 1900s, the United States had a malaria problem, and that was eventually cured or eradicated. And so malaria is not a problem here in the United States like what it used to be. So yeah, if I knew that I was in an area that would not flood, that was up a little high, then yeah, I wouldn't mind using it as a bug out location, or at least somewhere to get away from society for a little while. Guys and gals, my buddies and I, we used to go camping at places just like this. We'd be going along a bayou, pull up, just like what I've done now, just pull up. We'd get out, scout the area, look at it, say, okay, is the land kind of flat for a tent? Yes. Do we have spots to put up hammocks to relax? Yes. Do we see very many snakes? No. And that would be the deciding factor whether we camp there or not. Is it nice and flat? Is it holding water? Yes or no? Got a couple of trees to set up hammocks, and we'd claim them, man. We'd go up there and it's like, okay, yeah, this looks good. All right, I've got this spot here. This is for my hammock right here, between that tree and that tree. The other guy would be like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna get like from that tree to that tree or something, or from this tree to that tree. And that's where we'd spend the night at. Just go out here, go camping. We'd be exploring these bayous and marshes and stuff. Get out here and just say, hey guys, all right, looks like a good spot. Time to take a break. Let's set up camp for the night. And then we spend the night there, and the next day we'd get up and we'd keep exploring. I mean, I don't know how many, just miles and miles and miles, hundreds of miles of bayous and backwaters we explored over the decades. So yeah, I've got familiarity with stuff like this. Would I camp here? Sure I would. Sure I would. Yeah, I would. But there's also what I'm looking for is like what I said earlier about the gator slides. Looking for anything that looks like a gator maybe coming in and out of the water. Don't see anything. This looks good. Yeah, I would camp here. Yeah, I would. Be a nice fishing area. Come over here, set the tent up. It is a flood zone though. It is a flood zone. Water gets up, so we have to do it whenever there's not a lot of rain, and plenty of fishing. We could throw some noodles out, maybe run a trot line across the bayou or down the bayou. It's just beautiful out here. Beautiful, beautiful.